Hello everyone, and I'm very glad that today I have a chance to talk about this toughest questions that exist actually globally, is the obesity, and what TCM can actually offer a solution that for people who are having this problem. And I know some of you in front of in joining the webinar, maybe you are also concerned about yourself. So if you have any questions, then afterwards, after I finish the lectures, then feel free and welcome to ask any question you concern. So let's start today's class about obesity. Obesity, actually, I'm going to briefly talk about how serious it is in the United States. In the United States, actually 65% of the adults and 15% of the children actually are overweight and obese. And diabetes, this disease actually already increased 70% in 30 years old in the past 10 years. And this may be the first generation in which our children may die 10 years younger than their parents. So this, you can see that it's actually a very serious problem that exists globally. And not only in United States, actually, United States actually influenced the whole world. Nowadays, even though in Asia, usually we have a different diet and we live a different lifestyle, but nowadays, it's also being influenced by American style. So the whole world actually are beginning to eat like us, live like this, and die like us. So we have to really take into consideration what kind of food that we're eating and what kind of lifestyle that we're living today, and how can we improve our lifestyle and diet in order to help people or improve the weight control. And you know that actually the number one death in the United States is cardiovascular disease. Actually, it's completely preventable. And the data shows that at least 90% of the people, just by changing your diet and the lifestyle, even the cardiovascular disease can be even reversed. So let's take a look at this chart of the cause of death in the United States. You may see the number one is the heart disease, and the second is cancer, and the third is stroke. And then you can see all the red colors that have been highlighted. Actually, all these are related to our diet and our lifestyle. If we can take serious consideration about our lifestyle and diet, all these things can be reduced, and then it is preventable. So if you take a look at we're paying attention on for example, like some of the diseases that actually is not as important as cardiovascular disease. It actually kills more people than everything else combined, and it is most preventable. So we have to look into what kind of food should we eat and what kind of lifestyle should we have. Let's take a look at what kind of food is considered as healthy. So I have been seeing a lot of patients always asking this question: what kind of food should we eat and what should we do? And I know that among all the media that we have, we always have all kinds of diet and all kinds of recommendations. Oh, you should be exercising more than how much you eat, and you should eat a lot of vegetables, and then etc. etc. So whatever the conventional wisdom is recommended, but there's something missing. So I wanted to include the points that were missing in the conventional wisdom today, and then what have been taught centuries in China. And as a Chinese people, we always been grow up with all this knowledge. First of all, Chinese believe that every food is actually good for our health if we eat them according to their season. We know that in the old time, we can buy seasonal food, but now it's actually very difficult. It's difficult to eat food that is in their season. So we sometimes see people still eating watermelon in the winter time, and we're still eating things like, for example, banana actually is not a fruit that ever exists in the United States. It's actually from tropical area. So because of this globalization, food is become very accessible. Doesn't matter what kind of season we're in now, or what we are right now. And you can even eat any food, even from tropical area, even though if you're in the Northern California, right? So it becomes complicated. So this is number one problem that we're facing. We're not eating seasonal, and then we have been eating a lot of processed food, which is not easy to be processed. How to prepare them? Actually, we know that Chinese medicine, there's two parts. Okay, one is acupuncture, the other part is herbal medicine. You know, in the traditional Chinese medicine, we trying to combine different herbs into a formula to treat certain disease. Actually, this kind of culture also exists in our diet. Every time when we cook something, we're trying to make it very balanced. It's not only pleasant in your eyes, but it's also very delicious and very balanced. So this balancing, the cold with the warm, is actually very important in the Chinese diet. And I'm going to explain a little bit more later on. And something about raw and cold food. I know a lot of people think salad is actually a very good choice of diet, but in traditional Chinese medicine point of view, we believe that things that is cold and raw actually consume more energy to digest them. So you may end up with indigestion, taking too much of this kind of food. So instead of drinking cold ice water, maybe you should thinking about drinking hot tea or warm if you're already exhausted and tired to save energy. So this is all the little details that I usually share with my patients, and then you need some education to put this knowledge into them because it not exist in the culture other than Chinese. Let's take a look at what we taught our students in the classroom. And then by looking at this chart, it looks very fancy and looks a lot of colors, but actually every color means something. First of all, this particular is a biological clock. It also talks about our 12 meridians that exist in our body. First of all, if you take a look at start with 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. it is lung, and 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is large intestine. So, and then so on, and then you can see all the organs. Actually, we actually allot a time zone that for them to be actually actively participating in our body's metabolism. So, color is another element that in this chart you see lung and large intestine belongs to white color, and stomach and spleen belongs to yellow color. Heart and small intestine, pericardium and triple burner belongs to red color, and bladder and kidney belongs to black color, and liver and gallbladder belongs to green color. So what does this color do to our diet? You know, Chinese being observed for 5,000 years, they found out that the color of the food is actually very much related to which organs they go to. So for example, if you have some food that have some colors of white, then we definitely know that it actually benefits your lung or large intestine. And if this color belongs to yellow, then you know that it actually goes to the stomach and spleen channel. So some food, if it's with some black color, then it actually goes to your kidney channel. So then you can kind of consider what kind of color your food, whatever the food you're eating, and then you might know that what this food benefits. And this is only one part of the elements that we're trying to differentiate and trying to categorize all the food that we eat, including all the herbs that we're given to our patients to treat them. And also, there's another element on top of that is the taste. So for example, if the taste is having the spiciness, usually it goes to lung or large intestine. If the taste is kind of sweet, it always tonifies your stomach and spleen. And if the taste is kind of bitter, it usually goes to the heart and actually balances the fire in the heart. So if you have this element into your consideration, let's take a look at a couple of foods that in general our Americans like to eat in the breakfast. And then I always recommend that if you want to lose weight, please don't eat them in the breakfast. And why? Let's take a look at banana. Okay, banana. Okay, we'll see this in this chart. We can see that banana, the nature is cold. Doesn't matter if you deep fry banana. Okay, banana still cold. Means that if you eat banana, it cools you down. Okay, and the flavor is sweet. That's why which channel it enters? It enters into your lung, your large intestine channel. So in this sense, look at banana. Why banana is cold and what banana goes to lung and large intestine channel? Of course, banana, we know that banana actually is grown in the tropical area and is actually to balance the heat that generates during that period, that area. So if you are living in the northern part or in the cold weather type of country, or if now it's winter or early in the morning when you just woke up, your body just trying to warm up, and you give yourself a piece of banana, what happens? It actually cools you down and slows you down. And it actually costs more energy to digest it. A lot of people maybe already experienced when you are eating a banana with an empty stomach, you'll feel like you have indigestion. It feels like you floated and you feel like it's not digesting well. But of course, a lot of people don't have this feeling. Well, at this sense, maybe your stomach and the spleen is strong. That's why you still can handle with banana in the morning. But thinking about when you are getting older, we are all aging, okay, and we are getting cooler, okay. So that's why when we become older, we tend to put more clothes on, and we tend to keep ourselves warm. As far as when we're young, we tend to become hot, we tend to be feeling hot easily. But we want you to live longer and healthier. So preserving energy is very important. Looking at the banana, the meat of the banana is white and the skin is yellow. So that's why the skin, the yellow goes to what? Intestine, digestion system, and the white color, it goes to your lung. So what we do with banana, we can clear heat and moisten the intestine and also treat heat disease. But if you already cold, don't eat banana because it will cool you down. So that's the idea of balancing. Another case, watermelon. Let's take a look at the watermelon. Watermelon, actually the color is red, right? And the nature of the watermelon is also cold. The flavor is sweet. Sweet goes to stomach and spleen. That's why the channel that watermelon goes to is the stomach channel. And why it goes to the heart? Remember, the red color belongs to heart. So that's why, because it's cooling, it is sweet, then it goes to the heart, the stomach, the bladder channel, and it actually clears heat and resolves summer heat. That's why watermelon is ready to serve during the summertime. But what happens if you eat watermelon in the winter time? Especially a lot of patients, they don't even know that watermelon is cooling, so when they catch cold, They think eating food is good for vitamin C and ends up eating watermelon, and then guess what? They get serious. I mean, the disease, the problems get more serious. In a sense, how to prepare a food, I think in my PDF file I mentioned about Chinese is very much putting ginger into the food, especially when they're cooking vegetables. Why? Most of the vegetables are considered as cold or cooling, not cold. But if you put ginger cooking with your vegetables, it actually balances out the coldness. Okay, so we see ginger. Nature is warm, the flavor is actually spicy, right? And then because it's spicy, so it can warm, and it goes to what? The lung channel. And because it is warm, that's why it can warm the stomach and spleen. If you're eating something cold, if you're accompanying and putting ginger into your diet, definitely it will balance the coolness. So these ideas are all encrypted inside traditional Chinese medicine. Not only the food that we eat every day, but also all the herbs you're going to learn. And then you will start to know why you can eat this and why you cannot eat that, and what food goes to what channel, and if you have certain problems that you have, what kind of color you should choose instead of what color. And so this is some of the pictures that I show the difference between the Chinese food and the Western or American food. And especially salad, a lot of people love to eat salad, but have you ever tried to cook vegetables? You think like a big bowl of salad is a lot, but once you cook them, actually it shrinks, and then it ends up you don't eat enough vegetables. But as far as the Chinese way of cooking, we cook the vegetables, and then we try to blend different colors, and you see this piece of ginger here and piece of garlic here, and the garlic and ginger actually balance the coolness of the vegetables, and also it can help to improve the taste. And then detoxification is one of the way why we use ginger and garlic a lot in our diet. And you see that when you cook vegetables, and the vegetables shrink, and then even though you think that big plate like this is actually a lot of vegetables. We know eating fiber is actually helping a lot of the chronic illness we have today, and then we'll talk about a little bit more later. And also, we're talking about if you're eating too much of calories, of course, you will have problems that having too much of calories and you will gain weight. And then this is the American diet that we have a T-bone steak, huge, and then with a little bit vegetables on the corner, and then French fries, of course. And you know how much of calories that been eaten to your body. But as far as the way how Chinese people cook is actually, see, look at this, only some little grounded pork on top of tofu, a combination of protein with vegetable base, right? And also the threaded pork with stir fry with vegetables. So this is actually a different way of a lifestyle and different way of cooking. So why I'm showing this picture is that I don't want everybody to eat like Chinese. But I always trying to ask a lot of my students who are Americans, and come up with some creative ideas. Encrypted these ideas into your American diet. Don't eat only meat. Maybe blend with some vegetables together, and that will actually take away some of the appetite, so you don't end up with eating a lot of calories and then start gaining a lot of weight. So this is about diet, okay? How to eat, and what to eat, and how to eat to be proper, and then what time is the most crucial. And then another problem that I think a lot of my patients and Americans are facing is that we don't rest enough, okay? And then this definitely will reduce our energy, and we cannot focus. And then in traditional Chinese medicine, we say qi deficiency, means basically energy low. Just looking at this chart, we know that in in the 1950s, average American people sleep about 8 hours. And a teenager actually needs 9 hours. But, today, majority of our teenagers don't even sleep 5 hours. And the average of 2013 becomes like 6.5 hours. And then 5 hours is actually the average of today's people in the United States. If we stop sleeping, 5 hours, definitely will feel tired and exhausted. Insufficient rest is also a main cause of weight gain. People who are lacking of rest actually are easy to get massively stressed. And then when they don't have enough sleep, people are irritated, they feel tired, lose focus, and a lot of chronic illness actually just started from not sleeping enough. Why I put sleep as a very important element here is because majority of the Americans are focusing on exercise. But thinking about if you already not sleeping enough and you push yourself to exercise even more, what will end up? You will end up even more tired and exhausted, and you cannot keep up with your exercise. And then what will be the result after that? You will give up. You'll give up exercising, and then you'll give up to your diet. Sleep actually is very important in traditional Chinese medicine. Let's go back to look at this biological clock. When is the best time to sleep actually is more crucial than how many hours you sleep in traditional Chinese medicine. A lot of my patients, actually some of my patients, they think, I sleep fine whenever I ask them, do you sleep well? And say, oh, I sleep fine. And then when I take them pulse and I found out, no, you don't sleep well. So I start asking questions, what time you go to sleep? And then they will answer, oh, no problem, I usually sleep around 1 o'clock, and then I wake up around 10, so I have enough sleep. But, do you know 1 o'clock is called AM? Means that you don't sleep at night, you sleep in the morning. Okay? Morning and the evening, the energy flow is totally different. Let's take a look at this chart again. Start from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock is the gallbladder time. And start from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock is our liver time. In the traditional Chinese medicine, we believe that liver is the major organ to detoxify. Detoxification is being done during 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. If you want your liver to work for you, what time you should go to sleep? You have to sleep before that. Blood have to travel from your head all the way and all over your body into your liver in order to be filtered and be detoxified. If you are not sleep during 1 to 3, definitely you don't have time for the liver to work for you. Thinking about, oh, I sleep around 12, do you have enough time? Of course, you don't have enough time because when you sleep around 12 o'clock, your blood cannot travel all the way to liver yet. So at least you have to sleep around 11 o'clock to make your liver work for you. So sleeping at 11 o'clock is the minimum that keeps a healthy body. If you sleep later than 11 o'clock, unfortunately your liver is running dry and burning. So what happens after that? People who have liver problems, usually they get irritated, they get stressed, they have anxiety, they have depression, all kinds of emotional ups and downs, hormone imbalance. We see this patient all the time in the clinic. So we're going to talk about stress, we're going to talk about all this later on. But do you know that it's a very simple secret is to sleep on time, which means 11 o'clock and earlier than that. And if people who have stress, for example, people are lacking of sleep, they're easy to have stress, and then they can cause craving for food. Why? When your mind, when your brain are lacking of energy, so they will stand out for people start craving for food. and because they want some quick and fast format of calories in order to fulfill the work. And then what will be the fast and energy format will be carbohydrate. So people will start craving for sweets, craving for carbohydrate, and then the outcome is to gain weight. And if people who are not resting enough, usually they are in a starving mode. It means that starving for what? They are actually in the flight and fight mode. They are looking for something to store. Thinking about if you are in a famine, okay, there's not enough food for you. And what people tend to do, they're trying to store. So that's why one very modern disease is called insulin resistance. Okay, insulin resistance is the problem that people started to resist, of taking insulin. Insulin is actually one of the markers that help the body to determine you should store your energy or you should spend your energy. If you are in lacking of energy state and it seems like you are in a famine stage, your body will decide to store them. That's why whatever you eat, instead of spending, it becomes storing as fat. So this is actually one of the biggest problems today. We have our food enter into our body. It doesn't give you energy. And instead, they become fat and is stored as fat. So if we are eating a lot, not getting enough energy, still have craving, and then when we are lacking of energy, our memory is reduced, our immunity is down. How can we fight with all the diseases around us? So people tend to be sick very easily. And it's very easy for them to get all kinds of inflammatory disease like arthritis, etc. So we need to exercise. But as important as exercise, we also need to rest. But exercise actually is not as important as rest in today's United States. But exercise is also very important. In traditional Chinese medicine, we don't believe that it's too excessive or some kind of cardiovascular, like the lifting weight, those kind of exercise actually is good for longevity. The best exercise that we recommend is all very slow. Slow down and let the energy flow to the place that they wanted to use. So one of the easiest exercises I usually recommend our patients is actually walking. Walk and enjoying the scenery, enjoying the air, and don't need to worry about I need to go to the gym and then doing some waiting for certain time. Anytime you can go out and have a walk. There is a Chinese saying, 100 steps after every meal makes you live to 100 years old. You may think, is 100 steps enough? For some people it is enough, but for some people maybe it's not enough. So what makes you feel is enough or not enough? Sometimes I'll give my patient a very simple suggestion is when you exercise. After you exercise, you feel relaxed. You feel energized. You feel your energy. You feel like you are renewed again. This kind of exercise is about the exercise you need. But as far as if you after exercise you feel tired and exhausted and you cannot wake up in the second day, that means that you exercise more than your body needs. It actually consumes your energy. And then whatever the energy that been consumed, they will be compensated by digesting your food well. So enough exercise, a proper way of exercise is very important. Some people will choose Tai Chi, some people will choose yoga, and you name it. Whatever exercise that make you feel relaxed, feel more energized, go ahead and do it. You don't need to work too hard in order to lose weight. You need energy to lose weight. So talk about so many of these things that were the traditional Chinese medicine point of view. I would like to share with you some of the questions the majority of the patients they have. So I know exercise is good, but I don't have energy to do it. Or people will say, I know sleep is good, but I can't fall into sleep and keep on waking up and I'm waking up at night. Or I say, I know eating proper is good, but I always have craving and cannot keep up with my diet. So how can we continue and how can I lose weight? Acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine do offer a way to resolve this problem. And it helps people to relax. It also helps the body the energy flow. It also helps to stop craving. If your body needs food, you have to eat them. But why your body is not choosing to break down the fat to become energy instead of the craving for external food is because your channel is not open. So we can use acupuncture to help patients to get the channel to open again, so then they don't need to crave for food, and then they don't need to exercise tirelessly. A lot of people after being treated by acupuncture or herbal medicine, they start to feel they're more energized. Even though the weight haven't changed anything, the first thing they experience is they feel energy. Once they start to feel they're energized, this is a good start. And they will start to lose weight soon if they keep their good habits and keeping their good diet. So it is a very huge topic that we're talking about today, and we only have 30 minutes. I wish I have a class which is about 45 minutes, and maybe a semester of class to talk about it in detail. But thank you for coming to this webinar, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'm going to use the following question and answer time to answer any of your questions. Thank you again.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask in the questions box in the GoToMeeting control panel. Again, if you have any questions for the professor, now is a great time to ask. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, Professor, we have one question. When a patient is 60 years old, what methods would you recommend? Does it make any difference on the method?
This is actually also another question that I've been asking also many times. If years matter. And I always tell my patients that I'm already living like a 70 years old, even though I'm not 70 years old yet. All these lifestyle suggestions are actually good for every age. Now, of course, I know that it's a little bit difficult for younger people to keep this kind of lifestyle, but if you can start to get this kind of lifestyle earlier, you will better off, and you can live longer, and you can live much healthier. And then whatever the traditional Chinese medicine, what Chinese looking for, longevity, But we don't like the longevity that you're very sick and you are in the hospital with all the tubes in you. We want to still be function and do things that we like and just pass away while we're sleeping. That's basically what we're looking for. So if you're 60 years old, if you're right now you only are 30 years old, whatever the recommendation that I gave you just earlier is applied to all ages. So if you can start eating cooked food and keep yourself warm and start exercising, walking, probably 30 minutes a day, and you can start to pay attention on the time when you go to sleep, and make sure you don't sleep when it's already in the morning. Then the body will work for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor. And if anyone has any more questions, like I said, please feel free to just ask them away in our chat box, and the professor will answer them for you. All right, here's one more question. How do we balance the ratio of vegetable, food, or meat?
This question depends on the age group you are in. Okay, if you are 20 years old and younger, of course you can consume more consume more protein. But if you are older than 30 years old, or maybe you're already approaching to 40 years old, my recommendation is that you should eat about 20% of the carbohydrate and about 40% to 50% of the vegetables, and about 20% to 30% of the meat. So this is the proportion that you pay attention if you are approaching middle age. And of course, if you are already past middle age, for example, if you are in your 60s and 70s, if you really want to lose weight, okay, I often ask the patient to eat vegetarian in the dinner time. Why dinner time? Okay, dinner actually we are tired and exhausted after the whole day's activities. So if your body is tired, your digestion system is tired too. But what happens? People tend to eat a big meal at the dinner time, and then that will end up with indigestion. So people will start waking up with stomach pain, or some people will start having GERD, which means acid reflux. So eating huge meal at dinner time is really hurting our health. So if you want to lose weight, eating vegetarian is in the dinner time will be a very good method that I recommend all my patients to do. But if you are younger or you don't feel a specific craving for, oh yeah, by the way, craving actually can stop by start eating 70% full. You have to train your mind, to stop eating while you already feel the hunger to eat. So most of the people will eat because of our eyes, right? We think all the food is so delicious, and you keep on eating, and then ends up like every time when you finish, you already feel you're bloated. But traditional Chinese medicine believes 70% full is enough for the blood, because it takes time to communicate between the stomach to the brain. So once you start feeling 70% full, you actually already full. So this is also another good recommendation I usually give to the patient. So eating vegetarian in the dinner time, that will take away the load of the digestion system when you're tired and exhausted, and also eating 70% full.
All right, thank you so much, Professor. We have a question from Adriana Ramirez, and she asks, is drinking hot water in the morning a healthy habit to have? Can it help you lose weight?
Losing weight is actually very complicated. Of course, drinking hot water is you are on the way, okay? But by only drinking hot water won't cause you to lose weight. But there is something that you can do to reduce your appetite, is to begin drinking, for example, drinking soup ahead before you start your meal. So, for example, when you're waking up, by the way, morning drinking hot water without eating a good meal is actually not recommended. You have to eat, in traditional Chinese medicine, we believe that you have to eat like a king in the breakfast first. You have to eat like a normal person during the lunchtime, and you have to eat like a beggar in the evening time. That's why we're talking about that you should start eating vegetarian in the evening time, but don't sacrifice your breakfast. Because after you've been eating dinner, and around probably by finish before 8 o'clock is recommended. And after that, from 8 o'clock until second day, it's actually, some people may have 12 hours of empty stomach. So you have to eat a good breakfast with protein in the morning, then you will have enough of energy to start your day. You won't get all cranky and all foggy. And drinking hot water in the morning and then may reduce your appetite. And some people say will dilute your acid in your stomach, will cause indigestion. But I don't think that drinking a glass of water will cause that problem. But I will highly recommend you to eat a good breakfast in the morning in order to have your sufficient nutrition during the day. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Professor. And we have a question from Katie. She asks, if you're a patient that travels across the country regularly, what would be a good way to help them with their sleep pattern?
This is actually one of the global problems that we have because nowadays a lot of people travel and a lot of people see jet lag. So for this kind of problems, I usually recommend people to rest as much as you can when you are on the airplane. And don't try to finish up something or try to catch up something when you are on airplane if you travel different to different countries. And same thing, if you already lacking a sleep because you travel frequently, how much energy you have if you eat a high calorie food. So if you travel frequently, I would recommend you to rest whenever you have time and eat a very light meal every day. So then your body won't cost too much. It don't need to cost too much energy to digest them. So then you won't end up with some kind of metabolic problem because of you are always in a famine stage and you're always lacking of energy. And the body will start to craving for food.
Thank you, Professor. And thank you to Katie and Adriana for your questions and all the other questions. We have one more question from Adriana. She asks, is it better to have 5 small meals versus 3 meals following your guidelines, breakfast like a king, etc.?
This depends on different stage. If you're already an obese person, of course, small amount and multiple times will also work good. Or if you have digestion issues already, whenever you eat food, you feel bloated, then of course that you can eat multiple times in order to help your digestion to get better. But this question actually, I need to get more information of what this type of person, because you know what, in the traditional Chinese medicine, we also talking about constitution. So depends on what type of a body type you are, then we adjust accordingly. So if you don't mind, I can give me a little bit more hints or what kind of body what kind of body type you are, and are you already obese or are you tired? And this kind of then I can answer better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adriana, did you hear the professor? She would like to know what body type you are.
And how old is she?
Adriana says she's skinny, 100 pounds, 41 years old.
Okay. So she's thinking about eating 5 meals.
5 meals versus 3 meals.
Because she's craving for food all the time, or because she has digestion issues. 100 pounds, it sounds like there's some digestion issues. Yeah, for 41 years old. Yeah.
Adriana, did you hear that? Do you have any digestion issues? She says no.
Then I'll give a very simple principle. If you feel hungry, then you eat. Okay? Don't starve yourself. Starving actually will kick in emotional craving, and you will end up eating and consuming carbohydrate and sweet. So people are looking for comfort comforting when they are having emotional problems. And if you always feel hungry, then you better eat. Don't starve yourself. That's my principle. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor. We also have one more question. When a patient is already overweight, is there any acupuncture treatment that can help the patient overcome the issue?
On their own?
On their own, yes.
Acupuncture
treatment. Oh, by the acupuncture treatment, I'm sorry.
Okay. By the acupuncture treatment. This is actually the very last slide that we mentioned about. If you are obese, there's a couple things that we can do. First of all, if you are a stress eater, you're already stressed out, and because of the stress that you have to looking for food for comfort, we can help to release the stress. Acupuncture is proved to improve stress and also can cure stress in some cases. Second, if you are already obese and then you have this craving, it's not triggered by stress, but you're just craving for food. In traditional Chinese medicine, believe that if you're craving for something, is actually that particular organ is weak. For example, if you're craving for sweet, your stomach and spleen system is weak. So we can use acupuncture to strengthen your stomach and spleen system, and then the craving will be stopped. Third, if you're already working hard and then trying to control your diet and do everything, and you just wanted to lose some couple pounds in your tummy, traditional Chinese medicine, we do help patients to lose weight. Sometimes we say sculpturing. For example, even though you're not obese and you want to lose couple pounds in your thigh, in your where other places waistline, and then we do sculpturing, means that we can use acupuncture and to help to lose, your waistline or to lose couple pounds in the place that you don't like to be. But why this works? Because acupuncture actually helps to improve circulation and improve metabolism, that your body will start to become rejuvenated. Means like, when we're getting older, we tend to gain weight, but when we're younger, we tend to be slim. Why, when we are older, we become fat is because our metabolism drops and our circulation also have issues. So acupuncture do help to improve circulation, improve metabolism, is also helping to boost up the metabolism and also helping digestion system.
Thank you so much, Professor. We just have one more quick question. How can vegetarians keep their diet balanced, especially with the protein aspect of the diet?
This is a very difficult question to answer for some of my vegetarian patients, because being a vegetarian is not easy. Why I say this way is because the way how we live our lifestyle makes this difficult. Thinking about today, how many hours we work, how many hours we sleep. We actually overwork majority of the people, and then sleeping and lacking of rest. If you live such a lifestyle, it's very difficult to only eating vegetables. We traditional Chinese medicine believe that a balanced diet is the secret. Thinking about one bite of meat actually are 10 years of vegetables. The only way you can live vegetarian life is to have a less anxiety, rest more, have a peaceful heart, peaceful mind, and this is actually we're looking towards the goal, right? We all wanted to have a balanced lifestyle, and if you can sleep early, you can rest more, definitely vegetarian is possible. But if your lifestyle forces you to work harder, to consume more energy, it will be a little bit difficult to be a vegetarian and be healthy. So most of my vegetarian patients, they try to keep vegetarian, so they end up to craving for carbohydrate as a fast energy format. and then they're very easy to become obese. And eating a lot of vegetable things, we're talking about you have to balance the vegetable, which is considered as cold and cooling, with ginger or garlic, those things that can warm up. So if eating vegetable, people usually have low metabolism and then tend to feel cold. So for this kind of problems, and then maybe you should choose to become eating some like a healthy fish, or maybe eat some eggs, or instead of just be pure vegetarian. But lifestyle is very important. If you can figure out the lifestyle and being a very peaceful life, having a very peaceful mind and good lifestyle, then it is also possible.